Right, we're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. Right, guys, welcome to the No Bullshit Training Podcast with your host, Christian Summers and Joab Murphy. So, obviously, on this podcast, we're going to talk about training, but also going to talk about diet, lifestyle, motivation. Might talk about going to different like strength sports and stuff like that as well. So, first of all, I'll let Joab introduce himself and kind of tell you a little bit how he got into training, how he got into online coaching, his background in education, and whatever else he wants to say.
Yeah. So basically, for me, when I first got into sports was really my introduction to strength conditioning and gym. So I started off playing rugby from about the age of 4, and then it progressed and I got quite good at it. So I started playing county level about 14. I think under 14s I was doing county level training, and then they suggested to do a strength conditioning program. And my brother was also very good at rugby also, so he was doing gym programs as it was anyway. And then I started maybe 14, just doing the basics in the local gym, doing on top of my rugby program for Weybridge Camels, which was the local club. And then I progressed into going further up, going into more into strength conditioning at about 16, 17, 18. I was at Truro College, which had an excellent strength conditioning program, which pushed me to do more Olympic lifts, power cleans, snatches, but more barbell movements. I really progressed to maybe at 18. I had like a 130 kilo bench, 250 kilo deadlift. I think I maybe had like 185 kilo squat at 18, which was all pretty good for me. And then that pushed me to do strength conditioning at university level. And then that's where I met you on a course. And then I did my master's degree, and then I carried on doing rugby league. And then I played for Hoppers as well at the time, Preston Grasshoppers, which I did quite a lot of strength conditioning based programs for that. And then I went into personal training when I finished uni straight away. And then I got into online coaching. And at the moment, I am doing like a rehab based job, which is to do with people with physical disabilities and trying to keep them as healthy and supple as possible.
Yeah, so quite a fucking lot, really.
Yeah, quite a lot.
I actually didn't. Hang on, what age did you start doing S&C type training then? Because me and Joab, by the way, we've known each other for 8 years now. This September it'll be 8 years. So we've known each other for 7 years fully. But there's still some stuff here where I'm thinking I didn't actually know that. So when did you actually start doing? When did you start doing S&C style training?
Well, actual S&C. I did the basics with my brother, like the bodybuilding shit. Like I did like Jay Cutler style videos, and then we did just copied all the videos and like Ronnie Coleman and stuff. He did the videos,
all the good shit.
The old school stuff.
Yeah.
And then proper S&C was when Connor started going to college. So he was 16 and I must have been about 14, 15, and I started copying him, doing the same stuff. So quite young, 14. Really. Yeah, 14, 15.
Quite a good, quite an early start, like a good start.
Oh yeah, I had a better start. And then I did a pre-season at college a year early as well. So I did like a summer pre-season with like probably the best people in the county. Some of them, like quite a few of them, are like a load of them are professional now. Like a few of them got into Premiership teams. So I was lucky. I had like a summer of getting pushed doing S&C work like hard, like it was proper hard graft.
Yeah, you said that was college. You said so, like 16.
Yeah, 16. But yeah, it was solid. What about you? So what's your introduction to strength conditioning or gym, or what's your...
Right, okay. So I kind of started, I suppose I started training really when I was like 14, and it was more because of my brother than anything else. So my brother Tom, he's a PT in Huddersfield also, and he's 4.5 years older than me. And he was proper into training at the time. So I was 14, he'd have been 18. And he was like, Christian, you turn invisible when you turn sideways. Your chest goes inwards, mate. And I was like, hell.
Mugged you off. That's how you got into it.
I was like, Jesus Christ, I best start doing some fucking push-ups. So my first bit of training when I was a bit younger than 14 actually. 14 is when I first went to the gym. I think I was like 12, 13, and I started doing some push-ups and I had some 3 kilo dumbbells. My mum's. I used to do some of them, like 50 reps. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And then when I was 14, I got a bench press for my birthday. I was buzzing. I didn't know what I was doing again. Tom would try. He'd actually give me some advice. A lot of the time we'd just say Google it if I asked him anything. But yeah. Anyway, so that was that. I got a bench press for my birthday. I used to do 1 rep maxes and then like 30 reps of biceps. Didn't have a clue what I was doing. Then I joined the gym around the similar time when I was 14, 15, that kind of age. And then I didn't really do any sort of I kind of wanted to do just build myself up, get a bit bigger and stuff. I suppose the most S&C based movement, I suppose if you can call it that, in the gym that I did early on was deadlift and bench. Didn't squat.
Yeah.
Did leg press.
Movements.
And then I rated bodybuilders like Dorian Yates and stuff like that. So I kind of did that style of training, and I just played rugby league alongside that. Average rugby league player. Played amateur level, and then I just played as we went into college, and then had about 4 years off, played again at university. And got more into the S&C stuff, and then eventually, by the way, guys, me and Joab did the exact same degree, so we both did his undergrad in Bachelor of Science with honours in strength and conditioning, and then we did his Master of Science with honours in strength and conditioning as well. So we did his 2 strength and conditioning degrees together. We lived together through most of the uni, and it was through that time where I got more into the strength style of training. And then when we finished university, we graduated in 2018, is when we finished his master's degree. That year, I did a powerlifting competition in the November. And ever since then, I've kind of been doing powerlifting style training with some ups and downs, a couple of niggles, injuries, and all that kind of great stuff. And I also started PTing in the same year in 2018. Started doing PT alongside doing my master's degree part-time. And I ended up sticking with PT since. I applied for 1 or 2 S&C roles, didn't get them, didn't have my UKSCA, and I couldn't be asked fucking doing it.
Classic, isn't it? That's classic.
I didn't want to fucking do it. We've already done 5 years of in-depth learning on strength and conditioning, and a lot of the S&C jobs, they want you to have the UKSCA qualification. But after working for myself for some period of time and doing personal training, I realised this is absolutely mint. I get to be my own boss. I get to decide how much I get paid. And I get to work with people who really want to be there as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
And we also want to train hard, which is sometimes the people turn up for professional sports, they can't even be bothered to train some people.
Yeah, you'll get
just there to get paid.
You'll get a lot of people that are
you don't get...
You'll get some people that want to be there and some people that don't.
Yeah. And I think generally when you get a client from personal training, that they're investing their money into it. So they're going to want to try hard on average, because they're investing their own money into it.
That's it. And it's nice to help people on a one-to-one level as well, man. It fucking...
Yeah. It's so much better being individualized than
rewarding it.
Group standard. Yeah.
That's the one. Right. So that's the not brief background on me and Joab. I'm going to be dead fast. I think that took a bit longer, but anyway, we put a little bit.
I could have gone in.
What's that?
Yeah, I said I could have gone into that more. When you started saying stuff about getting into the gym when you're younger, I was thinking about the times where I had my protein shake for the first time and being the most lumpiest Tesco brand, ghetto protein shake, and drinking it through a fucking water bottle.
Yeah, I've got some fucking
wanting to throw up.
Yeah. Now I've got some pretty epic protein shake stories as well, but we'll try and keep this fucking podcast. We'll keep it on track. And if you hadn't already realised, I've got mild form of Tourette's. Right. What we're going to do is we banged a Q&A on my Instagram earlier. Joab shared it on his. So we've got a few questions that we're going to basically just run through and see if we can help you guys that are listening and give you some quality content that you can take away and apply to your own training lifestyle and fucking get after what you're trying to get after, basically. So I'll go through a couple of the serious ones first on mine, and then I'll answer them. I'll answer one. Joab can give his spin on it. We'll go through them, and then Joab will go through his, and we'll do it. We'll answer his as well together, yeah?
Cool.
Right, let's have a little looky see.
You've got to explain the glasses as well.
Oh yeah, so the allergy glasses.
You can.
For those that are watching the visual one of this on YouTube, I've got my allergy glasses on. These are blue light blocking glasses. So in an evening when you want to feel nice and sleepy, stuff like laptops, phones and stuff, dog shit for it. They make you feel like alert and awake when you don't need to be. So these will just basically block some of the blue light that comes out of them that makes you feel alert. So basically, I'll just sleep well tonight. That's the idea. So then I could recover better. Right. So
not for the fashion statement.
Questions we got here. So topics to cover.
Yeah.
We'll go over the serious ones first. So one here, motivation tips for not being a fat prick. So right, this is from Dom. And Dom's actually was one of my clients previously, and he actually did really well prior to Christmas, getting ready for his mate's wedding abroad. He then went on holiday, came back. Motivation has dipped since. He is no longer a client, but I've spoke to him since, and I know that he has dipped in motivation since, and struggling a little bit. So my first bit of advice would be to rehire me. No, I'm joking. So, so basically, guys, motivation tips for not being a fat prick. So obviously, the way we're going to apply this is motivation for just like getting in shape and getting yourself basically the results that you want. First thing that I do with all clients that sign up with me is, and advice that I give anyone is to like outline the reason why you want to actually do what you're trying to do. So if your reason is to lose fat, why do you actually want to lose fat? The reason usually isn't just because you want to lose weight. It's because you want to feel better about how you look in the mirror. You feel shit and you want to feel good. Usually it's always related to a feeling. And the reason why people slip off, in my opinion, is because the day-to-day tasks that they've got to do in order to get in shape, like it might be weighing the food, it might be getting up and getting the steps done first thing, all these like great habits that you want to ingrain, they struggle to stick to them because they don't keep that reason why in like the back of their head. They don't keep it visual, they don't think about it. So we can always get caught up in his day-to-day life, but what I'd recommend is if you've got a whiteboard, or to be fair, everyone's got a smartphone, right? What I'd say is write down in notes what your goal is and why you want to achieve it, like the real reason emotionally why. Put it as your wallpaper on your phone. If you remind yourself why you're wanting to do what you're doing daily, the everyday goals, being motivated won't even come into it. So it'll just be like, you'll just almost not obsessed, but kind of obsessed to fucking get it done. You'll want to get it done daily. If you remind yourself daily, you're much more likely to get that shit done. Joab?
Yeah, that's a good point. I would say building consistency within your program, something that you can hit weekly without it being like, with certain people, they'll start week one and have this ridiculous training routine where they train every day for 3 hours and they can't stick to it and they fall off the wagon within week one. I think building that training regime of being able to hit this on your bad weeks and your good weeks is something that to gain that consistency from week to week without falling off the wagon, because everyone gets that motivation on week one to smash it. Like, I'm going to smash this week. I'm going to be the best I can be, blah, 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 blah. And then week two comes, they've fried themselves and they can't perform, or they don't want to go to the gym anymore because they've given everything they've got in week one. With that, I would say just trying to gain that good training routine that you can hit all your workouts consistently for weeks and months, and then trying to improve on that monthly instead of going all balls to walls and the first week.
That's
that would be my
epic points there, man. Yeah, it's basically being like realistic with what you're going to achieve on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
That's another thing, guys. Like, for example, based on your routine and what you can manage, you can train 5 days a week. I say to a lot of my clients when they're starting out, right, you can do 5, I just want you to do 4. I'm like, no, I can do 5. Well, I don't care. If you can do 4 in your bad week, you can do 4 in your good week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. I think
that's a good point. Yeah.
Good answers there, man. You got all else to add to that, or sweet?
I was going to say, sometimes, like with certain clients, I could even put in like an optional workout, but then you always have the core standard 4 workouts that you hit every week. But sometimes you can put in like an optional one, like an optional arm session for the guys that want have big arms at the beach.
Double XL on the sleeves, medium in the t-shirt.
Yeah,
that's it. Medium in the body.
All the girls
tell on the sleeves, mate.
Or the girls an extra glute session on the weekend.
That's actually a really good idea as well. So that's another point, guys. Like motivation. Make sure you enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
actually enjoy.
Nothing worse than doing a routine that you hate as well.
Yeah, you don't want this to feel like utter shit and hard. Sometimes it is going to be hard. That's a fact. But like Joab says, man, it's good to put in a little workout that you're going to find enjoyable. And same with the food. Do you know what I mean? You want to enjoy some of that food, or at least a big chunk of it as well. So that's good.
Yeah.
Right. That's motivation covered in terms of that one. So next one, training. How long should and shouldn't it take? So this is it's kind of one of them boring answers that I try not to give, but it depends.
Yeah.
So it's like first things, like in my opinion, it's like one, you got to determine how much time you actually have outside of work, family time, stuff like that. 2, you've got to determine how much of a priority training is, and then 3, it's like what you're trying to train for. So in my case, I'm going to compete in powerlifting again this year, and training is like a really high priority with me. Like it's up there with my business. Like they're both there together. And I find it hard to differentiate which one's like matters the most to me, because they both matter a lot right now. So like for me, I don't care if I take 3 hours one time, I don't really care. I don't mind if I take a long time. Whereas like, for example, one of my clients, Sam, who won't mind me saying, he works like, well, he was working like 60-hour weeks. He's got a girlfriend, he hasn't got kids or anything like that, but like for him to realistically to do a 3-hour session on like a weekend when he's already working in the morning till like after lunchtime, he's got to spend time with his girlfriend, and then he sometimes does like courses as well that he's got to do homework for and stuff like that. It's not realistic for him to do that, nor does he want to. He loses focus.
Yeah.
And his reason why isn't to get strong as fuck for powerlifting, it's to lose weight. So yeah, it all depends. A rule of thumb that I think you should try and give yourself at least 30 minutes minimum. Block out free time. It's going to be very difficult to get anything done in less than that amount of time. But most of my client sessions that they do at home and stuff take about 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. It obviously depends on the person and their lifestyle, like how, and their priorities, like you said, that it depends how important it is to them. So, like you said, if you got someone who just wants to be healthier and just feel like they got some structure to their training program, like you said, 30 minutes. But then if you get in advanced level athletes, well, it's their job. So it's as much time to stay healthy, get better, and perform at the best. Because if they get better, the more money they're going to earn. So obviously the priorities, it depends on the person. So like you said, it totally depends.
Yeah, that's it. And that comes back to a reason why again, doesn't it? It's having that reason why. For that athlete, it'll be more money.
Be the best. Yeah, more money, be the best.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, win that competitive. Yeah.
That's it. And how long do usually your client sessions last, Joab? Obviously, it depends on clients, but like a regular fat loss client that's got no equipment at the minute in lockdown, how long do the sessions last?
Well, that obviously depends on their rest times. But normally 45 minutes to an hour, I put it in. just I just think it's a good solid amount of time. With you could lower it, like, but I think to get the best out of the people that have an adequate rest time at a good intensity level, I'd say 45 minutes to an hour is probably optimal for someone who's just for general weight loss and improving athletics.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And like another couple of things to add to this as well that I'm just coming to my head. So it's like the stronger you get as well, I suppose, if you're doing direct strength work, your sessions are going to last longer naturally just because you're going to have bigger rest, aren't you? And then
exactly, yeah.
Another thing as well, just in case anyone's heard this kind of shit before, is don't worry about hormonal responses and stuff with it being longer than an hour and all this kind of bullshit. It's not really going to make any difference to your training at all. So, or your results, sorry. So don't worry about that shit. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say.
Well, yeah, you've got to think of like Hathorpe Johnson, world's strongest man, and Australian strength coach. They have rest times of up to 8 minutes between sets. So you got to think that, and then they split them sessions in half sometimes. Whether it's like it gets so long, they have food breaks in between their sessions. It can last up to like 3-4 hours. So yeah, look at that.
That's it exactly. That's like one end at scale in it, and then you've got like your blogs is just that.
The opposite.
Yeah, it massively depends, unfortunately, but that's it. You've got to think about it and use a bit of common sense, really. And if you are struggling, you don't know how long your session should last and stuff, just message me or Joab and we'll help you out. Right, let's have a look what else we got here. Will Mateus wants us to discuss the Peep Show. Will, I'm not discussing the Peep Show. That's a stupid.
You do look a bit like, to be fair, you do look a bit like Jeremy.
I do not. And you.
Well, at least Mark Corrigan's smart. Jeremy's a complete idiot.
Right, guys, if you don't know what Peep Show is, just give it a Google. Go on Netflix. It's good shit. Right. They're my most serious questions. I know you've got some as well, Joab. If you want to run through yours, Matt.
Yeah. Okay. So these are a couple of them is what I've got one that they just come to my head because I thought it's quite a good question when transitioning from uni to personal training. I found that there's quite a difference between training athletes to training general population. So
what was the question? Sorry.
How did you find transitioning from uni, so training athletes, to training general population? So your Joe Blogs, your average daily people. How did you find training people from, athletic backgrounds to not having any training at all?
Right. Okay. You going through it first?
Oh, so with me, I found it that if someone's just starting off, you've got to keep it quite fun. So with that, quite a high variability within everyday sessions. So you can't be having someone turn up who's getting a PT session who's done the same thing from the week before, because they'll be like, we did this last week. We're like, well, yeah, we were trying to improve, but then they kind of lapse off. And I think that's something with CrossFit and these other circuit-based like conditioning workouts, is that there's such a high variability of exercises that keeps people entertained, because it keeps them on their toes of what they're going to get. So with me, I think start with people, especially beginners, you've got to have that variability of exercises to just keep it enjoyable for people to enjoy exercise, to improve all the knowledge of what exercises you can do in the gym, and how many exercises they are. There's thousands. So I think that's, for me, is keeping it, having that high variability of exercises within someone who's new. What do you think?
Yes, I actually have a different answer to Joab. His reasoning behind his answer, I agree with. and I think he's got like good justifications for like why he has like a varied approach. So it definitely will like keep people interested and fired up and stuff like that, and excited to trade. And I get that. But with me, the way I like to train my clients is we try and get good at certain movements first. And then when they basically move on to other movements, they've got carryover there. So say, for example, if someone's just starting out and we're doing like a full body session, super simple. We go one knee dominant movement, so like a squat or a lunge, one hip dominant movement, so it's going to be like a deadlift or a kettlebell swing, probably a deadlift if someone's just started, probably with a kettlebell as well, so a kettlebell deadlift. And then it'd be like an upper body push, upper body pull, something for core, like a plank, something super simple, and then maybe some condition at the end. And I like to keep to, say, for example, someone's doing 4 sessions a week. I like to say one upper, one lower, one upper, one lower. Sorry, so 2 uppers and 2 lowers. And then we kind of just I give people specific exercise to do, and we get better at them exercises over like 6 to 10 weeks, something like that. And then we switch it up. But it's I suppose it's one of them.
It's kind of similar, like in the way I still do upper lower splits of what you do, and then I still keep the same exercise, like the same fundamental exercises. But unlike you, you do like a more linear of improving each week of the similar exercises. Where I choose is like I'll do a different variable of that exercise of saying like tempo or rep, like more higher rep work. Like it's similar in some ways that we're still doing similar exercises and a similar split, but just done tweaked differently.
Yeah, so the framework that me and Joab use is very similar, but essentially the specific exercises are different. So Joab goes for more varied approach. I like people to get good at very specific exercises at first, and then move on and change it up. And essentially, I'm predicting that there's going to be good carryover. Say, for example, someone gets good at a goblet squat. I'm predicting, yeah, you're going to get pretty good carryover if you do a barbell squat, etc. Obviously, there's a bit of a learning curve there, but yeah. I didn't really answer the actual question. Then I kind of just like said why mine's different to yours.
Yeah, you just went up comparing each other.
Yeah. So
like, what did you think about training athletes comparing to training general population?
I actually don't find it that much different in terms of how I actually do the programs and sessions and stuff, to be honest. Because I think it's all like very basic. If you can get, apart from obviously the only things that I change with like general population, I don't do like power work. I don't try and make people explosive as possible. I'm not too concerned about that kind of stuff. Nor do I think, right, we've got a season coming up or a competition that we have to peak for and get like better for and manage fatigue and periodize and plan. It's a lot simpler, basically training general population clients, I think. The programming's simpler, and then like getting into motivation and mindset and stuff with them and lifestyle stuff's more complex. So that's probably the biggest differences to me.
Yeah. What would you say with a complete beginner? Would you say, is there some variability of routine that you would do different compared to an athlete? So would you how many days would you put on a beginner compared to an athlete? Like you'd have I'm guessing you would put on less days compared to a training split day compared to a higher experienced athlete, like a complete beginner. Say someone who's walked in a gym, they've done nothing, they've never been in the gym before, they've never done any exercise, they might not even have done any exercise before, they're like, they've done nothing. What would you do then? In that scenario?
I suppose with the athlete, what they're doing outside of the gym impacts massively what they can handle in the gym, doesn't it? So it's like if they're in season, have they got a game on the weekend, all this kind of stuff. So like that'll dictate how often they train. Whereas like with a beginner who's coming in, I find that their schedule and what's realistic for them to stick to will dictate it. So there isn't really like a one-sized answer. It's more so it's like it's like the client-centered approach, but say athlete-centered approach. It's the client-centered approach in it. So it's like we said before, if someone can manage 5 days, we'll say do 4. And then that'll kind of dictate how many days they do per week. And also with regards to like the recovery demands, Yeah, at first they might ache a lot more and stuff like that. They might get some bad DOMs from training, might a beginner, but ultimately, you presume a beginner's not going to lift as heavy loads. So the beginner's not going to lift as much weight, therefore they're not going to get as fatigued, so they can probably come in a bit more frequently. The sessions aren't going to be as hard. They're going to be easier than an athlete, especially at first. But apart from that, the actual strength training, which is like the main strength training, takes up the entire, like the majority of the sessions because it's so important. So the actual basis for that isn't like massively different from like how I train an athlete. Obviously, with an athlete, you look at the sport and stuff like that, but it all comes down to client-centered approach and looking what you've got in front of you, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it depends on the client, like you said. It depends on what they can handle. The next question is, I think it might have been quite similar to yours previously. You might have to skip it. It's, where do you think a lot of people go wrong when losing weight? So it's a kind of a bit similar to the one you had earlier, but
the one about motivation. Yeah, it's sort of, yeah, I suppose one of the
similar,
most
but
same but different.
same but different.
Yeah, I'd say now there's some definite things that we can go over here. So one of the main things that people fuck up on when they're trying to lose weight is by just eating healthy.
Yeah, eating healthy. Yeah.
So they'll just say, "Yeah, I've been eating healthy for ages now, and I've only lost a couple of pounds." It doesn't matter how healthy. I'm doing some little quotation marks here for people that are listening. No matter how healthy your diet is, if you're not in a calorie deficit, you are going to lose weight. Now, some people might not know what a calorie deficit is. It basically means making sure that you burn more calories than you intake. I don't mean burn necessarily just for exercise. You burn calories when you just sat there breathing. Me and Joab are burning all the calories right now. We're just sat here. Making sure that you are burning calories. Making sure that you are in a calorie deficit. So one of the things I'd advise for like pretty much anyone, if they're going to try and do it on their own, I'd say download a calorie tracking app such as MyFitnessPal. Track your food for a full week, track your body weight, and say, right, I don't like change anything. Just do it, eat how you eat normally, do everything how you normally do, right? End of the week, you probably maintain body weight. Have a look at MyFitnessPal and see what your average calories were for that week. The next week, just reduce your daily average calories by 500 and you'll start losing weight. It's a fact. That's like a really simple way of doing it. And also using MyFitnessPal or any sort of calorie tracking app is you can start to actually look what goes in your body. And without overcomplicating it, that's kind of like that is one of the biggest mistakes we do see, or I see, is people don't have a clue about calories, they don't track anything, they just think they're eating healthy and that's why they don't get results.
Or they're eating food that is calorie dense and they have no idea that it is calorie dense, and they think, like, I don't know, like macadamia nuts for one, like you have that and I don't know, they'll be like, I have so many nuts.
Yeah, any nuts
on like, what were you?
Yeah. If you smash
they have like
tablespoons of them bad boys and you're going to be packing on some mass.
Yeah, exactly. And oils, stuff like that, like calorie dense food.
You eat in a day, if you're untrained, fresh out the gates, new starter to the gym, and you're only little, you're probably putting on weight like that. So yeah, it's download MyFitnessPal. If you want any help with this kind of stuff, again, guys, just message me and Joe will help you out.
I think, like you said, keep it. The healthy foods is also like one of the biggest factors when falling off the wagon, is not knowing how much food you should be eating and not eating it within moderation. So you'll be like, they could be still on that, like you said, they could be still in a surplus with either healthy food and then fall off the wagon and be still in a surplus and not lose any weight and feel unmotivated and not want to lose weight anymore because they feel like they can't accomplish their goal. So I think, moderation with a calorie tracker is the best way to start, definitely.
Yeah, that's it.
The last question is how to stay on track longer than a week without falling off the wagon. So we've gone through this point a couple of times, but obviously finding a consistency finding something that you enjoy doing, that exercise that make you burn calories, I would say, that you can hit every day of the week, even on your bad days, tracking your calories and making sure you enjoy it. Like we talked about it earlier, making sure that you enjoy the exercise that you are doing. It doesn't have to be horrible when you're starting off, or trying to push yourself so it becomes a chore. You just have to enjoy it, and making sure that you want to improve every week and keep track of your improvements.
That's it. And if you're enjoying it, like if you enjoy it 80% of the time, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just that's it, man. Exactly what Joab said. Make sure it's something that's realistic. Make sure you enjoy it the majority of the time. That's with diet and your training. And yeah, you won't go far wrong. Definitely not. Right. I think that's all those questions, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all of them. We've ended up talking quite a lot.
I think I'm going to go through some of these jerk questions, and we'll call out some of these, dishing out the jerk questions. We're trying to run a serious podcast here. Right. So we've got a couple from Samhurst. Thinks he's Billy. Surprise, surprise. Right, let's have a look what Hurst has to say. So Samhurst is another. So he actually asked a good question. He actually did ask the training, how long and stuff. Another one that he's asked is, why is Samhurst stronger than you? Well, Sam, you're not.
You're not, yeah, you're not.
That answers that. Why? Another one that he asked. This is another one. This is actually quite a good question, but it's non-training related. Why are you bald as fuck? So, the reason why I'm bald as fuck is, as you can see, this hairline ain't loyal. And obviously, as it's lockdown, can't get a haircut. And I started looking very homeless, and it does not look good when it's long. So I decided to basically stop trying to defy my genetics and shave it off. That's pretty much it. That's why I'm bald, Sam. Yeah. Thanks for that great question. Okay, topics. Steve Jeffries, waffles. Of course you want to talk about waffles, Steve.
Actually, I got a message off Steve saying that he sent me one this afternoon, actually, saying about waffles as well.
Yeah, so those that don't know, Steve was mine and Joab's housemate in our second year of his undergrad degree. Do we need to outline who Steve is, really? I don't know if we really want to go.
He did, I think he asked something about Imodium as well, which I don't think we should get into.
Yeah, we don't need to speak about that. No.
Right,
yeah, basically, Steve's just the fucking, he's Mr. Big Time, Mr. Trampoline Park, isn't
he? Yeah. Mr. Trampoline Park.
Mr. Trampoline Park in Preston, Mr. Rift, Mr. Fish Fingers, Mr.
KFC. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, basically.
Mr. Chester's.
He did our degree, started S&C, but he's it wasn't for him.
Fell in love with Chester's grill.
Okay, that's enough about Steve. He left some other great questions as well, which were all equally as shit. Right.
Go, next one. Go.
I have got. Oh, you want me to go through more of them? They are ridiculous.
Let's go. Give the last one. Give us the best last one.
We'll
finish on a high.
See what else we got. Sam's were pretty good. Okay. No, Steve. Nah, mate, they were the best ones. Nick Zallad asks. Really? Nick Zallad wanted us through the topic as New World wines versus Old World wines. Now, Zallad, we're not an alcoholic like you.
I don't know
any difference between this. So those that don't know, Nick Zallad is one of my clients. He's wanting to compete in a powerlifting competition this year. And the only thing holding him back is his alcohol consumption. He's a bit of a beer connoisseur. He's an alcohol connoisseur in general. But yeah, he's just trolling us there with some wine questions. Right, that's me, man. I'm not going over anymore.
Yeah, that's enough shit ones for this week.
Right, awesome. Right, for those that are listening,
it's meant to be the no bullshit podcast. You're just giving a load of bullshit out. So
yeah, the no bullshit training podcast. We just finished with some great good old bullshit. So not we did only think of the podcast name 5 minutes before the podcast started. So give us a break. Right, that is basically it. So that is the first no bullshit training podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want us to cover anything that you can think of for the next time, in fact, we'll do that bit again. That'll fucking dog shit.
What?
That exit. I'll do that.
You didn't like the ending? Yeah.
No, that's terrible. You put me off.
Yeah, I didn't even say anything. That's just.
I know exactly.
Don't worry. This is one take McGee, so it's fine. You took the whole length of the podcast to go right to the end to say that bit was shit.
That again.
Right, just try again. I'm keeping this in.
From the very
I'm keeping it in. Oh, no, we're not going from the beginning. You keeping it in.
Yeah, keeping it in. Just working on the outro. It's first time.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the no training. What am I talking about? I'm on crack. That was the no bullshit training podcast, episode 1. For those that are listening, send us the topics you want us to cover in future podcasts. We'll have a look through them, and if they're not bullshit, we will cover them.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Right. See you later, guys.
See ya.